Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of a touch-up on what I've talked about in my previous videos about self-control, grit, resilience, ambition. And what I really haven't mentioned is how these relate to goal setting and how important goal setting can be for young children and why they essentially need it in their lives. Also, make sure you stay tuned till the end of this video where I'm going to be sharing how you as a parent can actually help along with this process. And also, forgot to mention in my previous videos, I do have a link to my blog website where I actually write about all of the videos that I'm talking about. So if you miss something in the video, just go down below and click on that because I'm going to be sharing all these ideas in there with you as well. Okay, so with that, let's get started. So in my previous videos, I have mentioned how important grit, resilience, self-control, responsibility, how all of these are important in character development, but I've never mentioned how they relate to goal setting. And I recently read an article by a psychologist named Angela Duckworth. She is a professor at the University of Pennsylvania where she studies grit and self-control. And she's also the founder and CEO of a nonprofit organization called Character Lab, where her mission is to promote science in relation to character development in young children. So basically, she talks a lot about how these specific qualities relate to goal setting and why it is important for young children to have goal setting in their lives. It's important for kids to be passionate about something, whether that be academics, sports, creative arts, something along those lines. It's important for them to have drive and motivation to be doing something every day. You know, you don't want your child to look back on their childhood years and think about how bored they were in class and how they came home from school and watched TV just to numb their brains. You want them to have those memories where they can look back and they remember how proud they were to achieve these goals that they have set for themselves and how proud they were to have worked that hard to achieve those goals. And they need that kind of passion and motivation because that's going to be key to pursue like larger and larger goals in the future. And it's so important for kids to have these capabilities now because again, it's going to be much easier for them to incorporate that into their daily lives in the future. You want your kids to have a passion. You want them to be open to experiencing the world. You want them to be loving every single day. You want them to have something driving them and moving them forward. I know, especially for young children, goals can often seem hard to obtain and at times even impossible. But as parents, we can do something to help our children. Maybe not directly help them achieve those goals, but indirectly, of course. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So we can help them essentially break down these goals into smaller goals and those goals into even smaller goals so that they can seem as if little milestones that they can achieve along the way. You can break these goals down into smaller parts to ones that they are almost able to do. Angela Duckworth describes a similar process to this, which is called Proximal Development. And essentially what that is guiding your kids to achieve goals that they are almost able to achieve, which helps them get to the next milestone. So essentially they will have to work a little bit harder and you will have to kind of guide them along the way in order to gauge where they are at in this goal. So essentially you will be acting as if they're coach or their manager in a way because you are helping them set those goals, and they need someone to help them set those goals, especially when they're younger. As they get older, they will eventually, know where to go in the next stage because they have had that help from you. As they get older, they will eventually be able to do this process on their own, but when they're younger, they will need you or someone else, maybe a mentor, to help them gauge where they're at in this goal-setting process. And depending on what type of goal it is, they might already have a mentor, such as a coach in a sporting event, or maybe an art teacher, or a school teacher if they're trying to achieve a certain goal in school. But honestly, the best thing that you can do as a parent is offer them support. As human beings, we rely on support and feedback. We don't do well when there is no feedback, because from there we don't know where to go. So the best thing you can do is essentially tell them if they are doing okay. And I know that is super vague, but just praise them and tell them that it's a process. It's going to take time, and there are days when they're not going to have the best results, and there are days when they're going to get crazy results depending on what kind of goal they're setting and how long it's going to take to achieve this goal. But they need someone to be their cheerleader. They need someone to tell them that what they're doing is going to work. They need that feedback and they need that support, and that comes from you. So that is probably the best thing that we can do as parents. It's going to drive them and motivate them to achieve this goal more and more. So again, we need to have that support for them. It's going to be really important and really beneficial. But yeah, that was a little bit about goal setting, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and stay tuned